everyone. It's Debra Poneman, founder of Yes to Success, where we share knowledge and tools for you to live your ultimate life. Ageless, anti aging for your brain, body, and future. The Awake Method, because it's time for all of us to wake up. And a brand new program called The Art of True Success, where I share life and business knowledge to create true success and prosperity without the struggle. And speaking of struggle, today we're going to be talking about something we all know we should do, and yet most of us still struggle to make it happen. And that is self care. In this last week or so, I mean, I swear it's crazy. Every other email from my favorite bloggers was about how at this time we have to prioritize self care to get us through. So I thought, well, let me just hop on the self care bandwagon, prioritize it for myself, and share my thoughts with you. So, as I said, it was actually not this late. Yeah, it was about a week ago that my dear friend and one of my absolute favorite writers in the world, Christina Marlette, founder of Courageous Self-Care, wrote something that stopped me mid-scroll. She said this. She said, "You know self-care matters. You've read the books, you've saved the Instagram quotes, right? You've promised yourself this week will be different, but somehow the laundry wins, or your inbox wins, or your people pleasing reflex steamrolls over your calendar." Isn't that brilliant? She's such a great writer. And does it sound familiar? If you've been there, and I sure have, here's the good news. It's not a flaw, it's a pattern, and patterns can be rewired. Christina reminds us this isn't about willpower, it's about conditioning. We live in a culture that glorifies burnout, and she says a culture where rest is seen as laziness, productivity equals self worth, saying yes to others means that you're a good person, and of course, self care feels hard. Most of us were never taught to value ourselves and protect our energy, but here's the shift. Christina says self care isn't indulgent, it's intelligent. I say taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's sacred. And it's the solution, it's the antidote to burnout, to resentment, because we start resenting the people who made us do something for them instead of resting. Like, I don't think so. And it's the solution to exhaustion. And speaking of exhaustion, Marie Forleo, another brilliant writer speaker, recently wrote something about how she was feeling so burnt out. I mean, it was so funny that I laughed out loud. She's been moving her parents out of the country and doing 1,001 other things, but moving her parents, she said, was a massive emotional and logistical task. And she said, quote, "I'm basically an empty cannoli shell with no filling." She's very funny. Have you ever felt that way? Completely poured out, empty, no reserves, running on fumes, holding it all together with caffeine, or in my case, lots of natural supplements. Marie shared that when she gets to that point, there's one thing that always brings her back, and that is getting in water. Isn't that interesting? Going in the ocean. She said, even going in a steam shower or a bath or out in the rain. And science says she's right. In fact, science says that being near water, which they call blue space, calms the brain and reduces stress. It also says that flowing water boosts creativity by increasing alpha brain waves. And cold water activates the vagus nerve, calming your body and emotions and improving your mood. The physiological response to cold water exposure increases dopamine and reduces cortisol, and that's thought to be a key factor. Marie also says this isn't about fixing you, it's about pausing and resetting. And then there's what my other wonderful, beautiful friend, Tana Benedict, calls the addiction to being busy. Tana shared in her weekly blog that when she slows down or stops, she sometimes feels anxious, like uncomfortable, like she should be doing something, forgetting that just being is doing something. That silence is actually creating a basis for activity. It's like a building. The deeper the foundation, the stronger and taller the building can be. She shared in her blog about a time 30 years ago when she gave herself space for her spirituality without guilt, doing things like listening to music that moved her and sitting outside in nature and reading inspiring books. And recently, she's been bringing those quiet moments back, even if they feel uncomfortable at first, like she's not being productive enough. She says, when you find yourself in that constant busyness, consciously slow down and allow yourself to do nothing, even if it's just for a moment. Stop, close your eyes, breathe before resuming whatever you're doing, and notice how much more relaxed and recharged you feel after that brief respite. You might discover that you can actually accomplish more by doing less, because when you take that moment of silence, you get yourself out of that frenetic chicken with the head cut off um, kind of anxiety ridden busyness. So, why do we resist healthcare and quiet time even when we know it helps? The answer is because resistance is a protective pattern. If burnout, busyness, and overgiving are familiar, slowing down feels unsafe to your nervous system. So instead of forcing yourself, meet that resistance with curiosity. What part of me feels scared to receive? What do I need to do to nourish myself right now? So, again, here are a few ways to bring self care in without turning it into another chore. From Christina, she says start small, stay consistent. You could even, when you're again running around like the aforementioned chicken with its head cut off, which is a terrible image, put your hand on your heart, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. You can even, when you exhale, go, ah, and even whisper, I'm allowed to care for myself. She even suggests making a self care menu. Have a quick list of 5 or 10 nourishing practices, from a warm shower to a short walk, so that you can look at your list and you won't get decision making fatigue, is what she says. And for Marie Forleo, use water as medicine. Use water to reset, even if it's just 3 minute shower. It can reset the state of your mind. And from Tana, have moments of nothingness. Try a mini do nothing break. Close your eyes, breathe, which is what's similar to what Christina said, and notice how you feel when you return. And if self care feels hard, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because we were all taught, one way or another, to abandon ourselves in the name of achievement or service. I was taught the latter by my parents for sure. But you are here to write a new story, one where you're nourished, grounded, lit up from the inside out, and acting on a basis of silence. So this week, I challenge you to schedule one small act of self care each day. And if you forget to schedule it, just remember you could just take a moment of silence. Breathe, put your hand on your heart. It stimulates oxytocin. Again, even if it's just a moment of stillness, a walk in the forest, sitting with a cup of warm tea or ice cold lemonade, if you're in Iowa like I am, because you are worth prioritizing, especially by you. And I'm going to end with a poem that I read in another wonderful blogger's Sunday paper. And this is Maria Shriver's Sunday paper. And she quoted a poem by celebrated Scottish poet Donna Ashworth. And it goes like this: if only we could see the power in rest. If only we could attach to it the worth it so deserves. If only we could open our minds to the idea that everything in nature has its time to rise and it's time to descend. That each of these acts is just as important as the other, and that is exactly as it must be. If only we could see the courage it takes to lay aside the worries, the fears, and the comparison just for a few hours, to let the mind, spirit, and body come together again, doing the one thing they all require so much: nothing. If only we could see the power in rest, because rest is very much doing. So, all of you doers and givers, give this all a try and enjoy your week. See you next Saturday. Bye for now.